This is a simple case in my mind of where did the money go? Where did you spend it? Binance is a massive, unregulated global monopoly. They put FTX out of business.
Day 2 of the FTX hearings were just as insane as day 1, with SBF proponent Kevin O'Leary taking center stage to give Congress his thoughts on the FTX fraud.
You ask me why it went bankrupt? Go to the last week.
For a recap of the complete disaster that was day 1 of the FTX hearings, please check out yesterday's video. Of course, with so many familiar faces in attendance today, one face that was missing was former FTX CEO himself, Sam Bankman-Fried.
I believe that withdrawals could be opened up today, and everyone could be made whole.
If you subscribe to our channel, you already know SBF, after weeks of not being arrested, was finally arrested the day before he was scheduled to be a part of these congressional hearings.
We're seeing some activity. Police officers, we can see Sam Bankman-Fried in a blue suit and a white shirt being walked to the vehicle. He is in handcuffs. He's been placed into the back seat of this blue Ford vehicle. He was surrounded by police officers as he was walked out. I think that a lot of questions need to be answered, whether it be from the National Security Minister, from the court system, from anyone who presided over what happened here today. Why was this man seemingly given preferential treatment?
Makes you wonder if SBF was in cahoots with the Bohemian authorities and got arrested the day before strategically. It looks like his Dorian Gray mask is off now. We informed you yesterday of his charges: wire fraud conspiracy, security fraud conspiracy, money laundering. Update for you with the latest information: Sam Bankman-Fried was denied a $250,000 bail. He was declared high risk to flee. SBF will go to Bahamas' only prison, Fox Hill, as he awaits extradition. Fox Hill is known for its brutal conditions. U.S. State Department has described Fox Hill as being infested with rats, maggots, and insects, and where inmates remove human waste by bucket and often develop bed sores from lying on the bare ground. Inmates ending themselves is not uncommon. So, with Sam Bankman-Fried safely secure, at least for now, Shark Tank star and celeb investor, Mr. Wonderful himself, Kevin O'Leary, takes the world's stage at the FTX congressional hearings to update America, to update Congress on what really went down, at least in his opinion.
Apparently, according to Sam Bankman-Fried, Sam, walk me back 24 months.
Well, actually, by Kevin's own words, it seems he was regurgitating Sam Bankman-Fried's opinion. It's interesting, because Kevin O'Leary doesn't seem to put any blame on Sam Bankman-Fried, although he seems to throw Binance under the bus entirely.
Why do you believe FTX failed?
I have an opinion. I don't have the records. Here it is. These two behemoths that own the unregulated market together and grew these incredible businesses in terms of growth were at war with each other. And one put the other out of business intentionally. Now, maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe there's nothing wrong with love and war. But Binance is a massive, unregulated global monopoly now. They put FTX out of business.
Wow. Now, listen to Kevin O'Leary tell the full story of the FTX Binance feud and what happened to the money. Pay very close attention to the end.
This is a simple case in my mind of where did the money go? And I said, Sam, walk me back 24 months. Tell me the use of proceeds of the assets of your company. Where did you spend it? And then he told me about a transaction that occurred over the last 24 months, the repurchase of his shares from Binance, his competitor. I didn't know this at the time, but at some point, CZ or Binance, who runs Binance, purchased 20% ownership in Sam Bankman-Fried's firm for seed stock. And then, over time, and I asked him, what would compel you to spend $2 billion was the number he was giving me at that time. Later, in a subsequent conversation, about 24 hours later, he told me it could have been as much as $3 billion to buy back the shares from CZ. I asked him, what would compel you to do that? Why wouldn't you keep your assets on your balance sheet? And why would you offer this to just one shareholder He said, because every time we went to get licensed in different jurisdictions, because you must understand the prize of crypto is to get regulated. Apparently, according to Sam Bankman-Fried, CZ would not comply with the regulators' request in these different geographies, these different jurisdictions, to provide the data that would clear them for a license. He withheld it, according to Sam Bankman-Fried. The only option the management and Sam Bankman-Fried had was to buy him out at an extraordinary valuation of close to $32 billion, less apparently a 15% discount. That stripped the balance sheet of assets. You ask me why it went bankrupt? Go to the last week. All of a sudden, in social media, CZ is asking for another $500 million. But Binance is a massive, unregulated global monopoly now. They put FTX out of business.
Binance put FTX out of business? Bullspit. FTX stole user money and got caught. Simple. Mr. Wonderful certainly isn't doing crypto any favors. And it seems, with all of the FTX fraud in general, again, crypto's getting conflated with general fraud, the FTX fraud. The crypto market is the target of heavy regulation again. Breaking news, U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren introduces bill to KYC, self-custody Bitcoin and crypto wallets, surveil users, and crack down on privacy tools, a direct attack on freedom and privacy. Now, it's nice to see some senators and some people with a voice speaking up for crypto, speaking up for the simple truth, like Senator Lummis.
We're conflating topics today. Digital assets are not on trial. Fraud and organizations are on trial. So let's separate digital assets from corrupt organizations. FTX, as I've been saying for the last few weeks, is good old-fashioned fraud. And what they did is separate from digital assets. Now, we've all heard that FTX lent its executives hundreds of millions of dollars in commingled customer funds for personal use, and customers who tried to wire money to FTX were instead given Alameda's routing number. That is fraud. That's fraud whether it's conducted in US dollars or euros or digital assets. That is fraud.
Or like Senator Toomey after the hearing.
This really looks like garden variety fraud that has happened in the past with, usually with dollars or securities of a conventional sort. And here it happened to happen with crypto. It is not an indictment against crypto. It's an indictment against the guys who misused it. And we should make that distinction, and Congress should finally pass the legislation that I've been urging us to pass, which would provide the regulatory clarity so that we don't have this ambiguity as to who's got the authority here, who doesn't, and how does it get regulated. We need to eliminate that regularity. Then we would have business flowing to prudent, sensible, well-regulated American exchanges.
Even Mr. Wonderful was on the right side of history to a degree in these 30 seconds when he urged Congress segregating banks and crypto, making it so banks cannot integrate with crypto, would be a bad move. Isolating crypto from the banking system would be insanity.
The concept of passing legislation that would ban banks from integrating cryptocurrencies and crypto technology, if that were to happen as an investor, I would short every American bank stock because it would make it the most uncompetitive financial services sector in the world. The innovation that is coming forward, once regulated, is going to be profound in terms of how it changes the cost, the efficiency, the auditability, the productivity of the banking sector. Just look at things as simple as ACH transfers, how archaic they are. Look at the Fed wire.
So let me just stop you there. I only have so much time. So you do not agree with isolating it from the banking system?
That's insanity.
Kevin O'Leary and Congress continued the conversation of regulating the crypto industry. Here's Mr. Wonderful saying to Congress, crypto is like the stock market 150 years ago.
I find the analogy of crypto to be that of gambling and speculation interesting. That was exactly what we described the New York Stock Exchange 150 years ago. And what happened was, because of the nature of the risk, we regulated it. We did it for bonds. We called them securities now. Back then, they were speculations, no different than this nascent industry. The reason this is happening over and over again, and we'll be back here again soon when the next one blows up, is the lack of regulation. That's why we regulate stocks and bonds. They are speculations too. You speculate the profits of the companies underlying those securities. We need to regulate this. I mean, this premise that it's some kind of different issue, it's not. It's just unregulated Wild West, and it will go on and on and on. It's the definition of madness is expecting a different outcome. I mean, that's just, it needs regulation. That's it.
If you're planning to attend Bitcoin Conference 2023, let's hang out. It's going to be epic. Use code Altcoin Daily, 10% off. This is the biggest Bitcoin conference in the world. Use code Altcoin Daily, 10% off. Web3 is a joke comedy show and panel. If you're in the LA area or Southern California area, actually the Santa Monica area, Friday, December 16th, get your tickets for this. I'll leave a link in the description. Hope to see you there. Very possible you have friends or family confused by what's going on with the FTX hearings. Feel free to share today's video or yesterday's video or any of our videos to help them understand crypto a little bit better. Subscribe to the channel, join our team. See you tomorrow.